Singapore and China have struck a groundbreaking energy deal. For the first time, Singapore will import clean electricity from China, delivered through massive undersea cables. The electricity comes from China's hydro, solar, and wind projects, renewable sources that are better for the planet. For Singapore, this is a crucial step toward securing clean energy for its future. This deal is more than just buying electricity. It's about building a shared future. As the world shifts toward clean energy, this deal puts Singapore and China at the forefront of regional transformation. It's a milestone for both countries, and a sign of the changing balance of power in Asia. Singapore's Green Plan 2030 is its roadmap to a sustainable future. The city-state aims to use more clean energy, but its small size and lack of natural resources make this a challenge. With limited space for solar panels and no big rivers for hydropower, Singapore must look abroad for green electricity. By 2035, Singapore wants to import up to 4 gigawatts of low-carbon electricity, enough to power millions of homes. This ambitious goal is central to its fight against climate change and its promise to halve carbon emissions by 2050. The deal with China is a major step toward meeting these targets. Importing clean power helps Singapore diversify its energy sources and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. It also makes the country's energy supply more secure and stable, crucial for a global business hub. This isn't just about being green, it's about being smart and resilient. By tapping into China's vast energy network, Singapore overcomes its natural limitations. The partnership is a cornerstone of Singapore's strategy to remain prosperous and sustainable in a changing world. It shows how forward-thinking policies can turn challenges into opportunities. Singapore is planning for a future where clean energy is essential, not optional. The power deal is a bold move to ensure long-term security and growth. It's a model for how small nations can lead on sustainability through innovation and international cooperation. Singapore's green ambitions are now firmly linked to its global partnerships. The power deal with China reshapes Singapore's relationships with both China and the United States. Singapore and China are now bound not just by trade, but by energy, deepening their economic interdependence. This closer bond comes at a time of intense US-China rivalry in Asia. The US remains a key security partner for Singapore, with a strong military presence in the region. Singapore values its defense ties with Washington, which have long provided stability. But deeper economic ties with China raise concerns in the US about potential political influence. Could China use energy dependence as leverage? It's a risk Singapore must manage. The nation faces a delicate balancing act, strengthening economic links with China while maintaining security ties with the US. The power deal is practical, but it has major geopolitical consequences. Singapore must reassure both superpowers that its actions serve its own interests, not a choice between rivals. This balancing act is central to Singapore's foreign policy. The deal highlights the complexity of navigating great power competition. Singapore's challenge is to benefit from both relationships without being forced to choose sides. Its success will shape its role in the region for years to come. For China, the power deal is a strategic win. It fits into the Belt and Road Initiative, connecting Asia through infrastructure and energy. By supplying electricity, China strengthens its economic and political influence in the region. Singapore's participation signals to other Southeast Asian nations that partnering with China brings real benefits. This creates a network of interdependence, with China at the center. The US and its allies see this as a challenge to their influence in Asia. China's economic power is translating into regional leadership, without military force. The deal offers opportunities for growth, but also risks of overdependence on Beijing. Singapore's choice reflects the broader dilemma facing many Asian countries. The power deal is a clear example of China's growing role in shaping Asia's future. The United States views China's rise, and deals like this one, with growing concern. The Trump administration has made countering China a top priority, launching trade wars and restricting technology access. At the Shangri-La Dialogue, US officials warned of China's military and economic ambitions in the region. America is boosting its military presence and urging Asian allies to strengthen their defenses. The Singapore-China power deal fits into this tense landscape. Washington worries that Singapore's energy dependence on China could affect its willingness to support US security interests. The US wants partners who are strong and independent, not tied too closely to Beijing. Singapore's challenge is to manage its new relationship with China while maintaining trust with the US. America will be watching closely as Singapore navigates this new reality. The deal is a test of Singapore's ability to balance competing pressures. It's a sign of the shifting dynamics in the Indo-Pacific. In the US, China rivalry, Singapore's strategy is hedging, staying friends with both sides. It avoids taking sides, instead building strong economic ties with China and robust security ties with the US Prime Minister Lawrence Wong has made it clear. Southeast Asia doesn't want to choose between the giants. The region aims to be an inclusive arena where both powers can engage. This approach gives Singapore and ASEAN more control over their own future. The power deal with China is a practical example of hedging in action. Singapore deepens economic links with China while continuing military cooperation with the US. By doing both, Singapore signals it's not picking sides, just pursuing its own interests. This balancing act requires skillful diplomacy and constant communication with both Beijing and Washington. Singapore must reassure the US that its deals with China won't compromise security. At the same time, it assures China that its US ties aren't meant to contain Beijing. For a small nation, this is the only logical way to survive and thrive among giants. Singapore's approach is a model for other countries facing similar pressures. Hedging allows Singapore to benefit from both relationships while maintaining its independence. It's a difficult path, but one that has kept Singapore prosperous and secure. The power deal is the latest example of this careful balancing act. The Singapore-China power deal is more than an energy agreement. It's a sign of global change. Economic connections like this are becoming as important as military alliances. China is emerging as a provider of high-tech solutions and clean energy, not just a manufacturing giant. Smaller nations like Singapore must balance the benefits of Chinese partnership with the security offered by the US. Hedging is now a common strategy across Southeast Asia. The way these countries manage the US-China rivalry will shape the future of the Indo-Pacific. For America, this means offering more than just security. Economic partnerships are key. The Singapore deal is a wake-up call. Influence now depends on who provides solutions, not just protection. The world is more interconnected and complex than ever. Power is about controlling energy, data, and trade, not just armies. As Asia's new connections form, the rules of the global order are being rewritten. What happens here will impact us all.